Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Tea Break Diaries Season 4. And today we will have a very special guest, Dr. Shekhar Algundgi from Mumbai. And it's so good to see all of you here after such a long time. Let's have our guest first, and then we will talk about his book, uh, the new book about case taking, and a lot of other things. Hello, Dr. Nanik. I'm fine. How are you? Okay. Sir, I've sent you a request. Kindly accept. Are you able to hear me? Please tell me. Am I audible enough? Yes. I'll just pause. Yes. Thank you, Vishwa. Sir, namaskar and good evening.
Good evening. Namaskar to you and to all the viewers online at this moment.
Hello, sir, and most welcome. And thank you so much for coming live and doing this tea break diaries. I'm so happy.
It's always a pleasure to be associated with you.
Thank you, sir. Same here. It's your blessing. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, guys, we have our guest with us, Dr. Shekhar Algundgi from Mumbai. Though he needs no introduction, everybody knows him through his video lectures, his seminars, his webinars, and now his book also. So, today we are going to have a special conversation with Sir about his new book on case taking. But before that, I want to tell you that Sir has more than 3 decades of experience, and the way he teaches is just mesmerizing, amazing, and so far, I believe and I know that he is the one of the finest case takers in the world I have ever seen. So, sir, thank you so much for teaching so many things to us, and I'm so excited to talk about this gem. ये मुझे कल ही मिला है. Yesterday I got this.
Oh, you got it.
And yeah, I got it, and I'm so happy. So I just brought this book so that we can have a in between book B. So case taking, the art of connection, communication, and conversation. Such a interesting title also of a case taking book. So my first question to you, sir, is when did you think and how did you think about writing the book on case taking?
See, it's basically from past a decade actually, to tell you very frankly, because many of them send the cases to me and say, "Sir, हम लोग अटक गए हैं इसके अंदर. Sir, अब आगे कैसे ले जाना केस
Yeah.
में? Patient is not speaking out, or patient is not answering." So then I thought, what could be the most important issue for all these problems? Why do homeopaths face this issue all over wherever I go for seminars? So the idea that I thought was, are we really writing down our question that we are actually wanting to ask? Because
Mm-hmm.
if the answer is to be received from the patient, is my question very clear? Is my question following the path of that particular person's issue? So therefore,
Mm-hmm.
what is the main idea for this is, do I have developed the connectivity? Now, when we are doing
Mm-hmm.
this Instagram live also, the first thing that has to come is the connectivity.
Yeah.
अगर connectivity नहीं है, तो हम दोनों का आपस की बातचीत कहाँ से होगी? और अगर बातचीत ही नहीं हो पाई, तो end of this entire session or conversation कहाँ हुआ? So therefore, the
Right.
idea is to have the connection first set up with the person. Then only your right questions, once you start asking, you build up that communication. And then when you build up that communication, the whole case taking then becomes a conversation.
Okay.
So that's what I thought these three C's are the most important thing: connect, communicate, and converse.
Great. Wow. That's really amazing. And you rightly said that अगर connection ही नहीं होगा, so how would we communicate? And so
Correct.
that is, I guess, the problem of most of the homeopaths, and especially in the beginning, when we start taking cases, we have this big problem that patient बोलता ही नहीं. That I used to feel जब I was a student and I used to watch your cases, Shankaran sir's cases and other masters cases. I used to see ये इन्हीं के सामने बोलते हैं. Whenever I take case, they don't talk at all. So this is a big problem, and that's why we just lose case. We just have a data, but not the case.
Correct.
So that is a very important thing. And I was just going through, though I couldn't read your book because yesterday only it arrived, but I was going through the first few pages, and I saw very interesting chapters in the content section, which was really intriguing. So I want to ask you some questions related to chapters. So you have written, the case taking part, the language, and grammar in case taking. So, sir, these days, whenever we have attended many of your lectures, so you talk a lot about grammar and case taking. Please put some light on that so that
The whole the
newcomers
whole
will also
idea,
get it.
yeah, the whole idea is, now suppose if the patient is giving us the idea, मुझे ये Instagram live पहले करना चाहिए था, is a past tense. So the
Yeah.
question should be क्या करना चाहिए था उसमें, या
Okay.
ये Instagram live करना पड़ेगा आगे चल के, क्या करना पड़ेगा. So the tense that is there. So we need to
Yeah.
understand the person's conversation is in what tense. Is he talking about the past tense in the story? Is he talking about the future tense in the story? Or is he talking about the present tense? अभी फिलहाल मुझे हो रहा है कुछ या करना है कुछ. So then our question, if it is falling in sync with the tense that the person is, only
Mm-hmm.
then the person के दिलो जहन में वो प्रश्न प्रभावित होगा उससे. हाँ, वो मैं को जो करना था उसके बारे में पूछ रहे हैं,
Ah,
नहीं
ah,
करना था. और आप मुझे पूछेगा क्या होगा उससे आगे, तो मेरे को आगे का दिखा ही नहीं अभी तक, पिछला ही दिख रहा है. आई एम इन द
ah,
पास्ट टेंस. So the
true.
question, if it falls in past tense, because my thought is in past tense, it will sink. If
Yes.
I'm dreaming about future and you're asking me about a future tense, then it will sink. So therefore, this tense is a very important aspect as far as the questioning pattern is concerned. Then we have something called as the noun, adjective, and the verb. Whatever patient comes to us is where unka vital force is basically stuck at a particular sensitivity. And
Mm-hmm.
since it is stuck to a particular sensitivity, it is going to the dead end of the road, called as the grammatically noun. Name is the dead on the road. I have diabetes. This is the name. I have
Hmm.
eczema. I have psoriasis. So diabetes, eczema, psoriasis all become the noun.
Okay.
And then as and how you probe what is happening into it, then I give the adjective to it. Green discharge, red eruptions, black colored horny type of warts that are there.
Yeah.
So all these are the adjectives which specify that noun. When we go further into it, then there is some halchal of the vital force that is also coming along with the material body. So the idea of noun and adjective goes with the material body, and then
Mm-hmm.
further percolates to the soul, the vital force, which is the verb, because vital force animates this material body, and
Yes.
therefore the verb actually animates the sentence.
Okay.
क्योंकि वर्ब वो चालना देती है, वो वर्ब के बिना वो सेंटेंस का कोई मीनिंग ही नहीं, कोई मायने ही नहीं.
Oh,
And therefore,
wow.
Hanuman says it is this vital force that actually animates this material body. In the 10th aphorism, he says if this vital force is not there, if verb is not there, it is dead and has got no sensation and no function. So sensation
Yes.
and function कौन ला रहा है? ये verb ला रहा है, which is
Yes.
pulling, drawing, stitching, burning, squeezing, tightening. These are all the qualities of that particular soul of that individual. And therefore, what we call it as the active principles of the remedy is nothing else but the verb of that remedy.
Okay.
The venom, the action of the venom at a neurotransmitter junction that it does in the proving is the verb. The alkaloids of the plant is the verb. The
Okay.
milk is the verb. The physical
Wow.
and chemical properties of the elements has the verb in it.
So verb basically is the language of the
Correct.
source or the remedy.
Correct. It is the source language that gives us the entire information of only that specific substance in nature which resembles to the soul of this individual. So
Great.
what is the simillimum? The simillimum is the verb.
Oh,
And
wow.
the group of verb together forms that substance. उसकी परिपूर्ण पहचान वो group of verbs के साथ आता है.
Lovely. Wow.
So that
So this is
is the
very,
idea.
very interesting.
That's the idea. So it is like simply bringing grammar back into homeopathy.
Yes.
And because of this social media today, we are losing grammar. You see shortcut words that are written.
Yeah. Yes.
So therefore, the verb is lost, has actually lost its essence. You know? आप समझ लो, YOUR करके नहीं है. You are समझ लेने का कि it's your. So it is actually losing.
Even you also we don't write YOU, it's only you letter.
Correct. So therefore it is losing its purity. And what we are doing in homeopathy is understanding the verb of that individual. कहाँ कौन सा verb इसका अटका हुआ है? Which is the essence? Like caught, stiff and tight is the verb of Aristotle. Constriction and expansion is the verb of cactus. अगर आप वो दो शब्दों को निकाल दो, cactus has got no meaning.
Yeah.
तो ये verb उस रेमेडी का जान बनता है. एंड क्यों आता है? क्योंकि वो कैक्टीना का एक्टिव प्रिंसिपल है. और कैफेन ऑफ द कॉफी, दैट कैफेन हैज द अल्कलॉइड हैज इट्स एक्टिव प्रिंसिपल. दैट्स व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड एज एक्टिव. अगेन समथिंग व्हिच हैज गॉट.
Yes. It is also related to verb and the grammar, interestingly.
Correct. So ये चीज के लिए I'm putting up into that the idea of understanding how to understand the verbs of a given specific remedy. Then the idea about how the verb, when it is stuck, it brings in adjective, it brings in noun. When the vital force is still further sinking, how it comes from that common noun to proper noun. Rheumatoid, inflammatory rheumatoid arthritis is a proper specific noun. That means आप noun के भी आगे चले गए.
Yes.
Because arthritis is simply a noun.
Yes.
But when you specify which type of arthritis, then it becomes a proper noun.
Yes.
So that is the idea. And how tense is all about, that is the idea to understand, which will make our work much more easier. The book that will be coming after this is all about this grammatical understanding. And the W's in specific.
I'm looking forward. That's great, sir. Even through your teachings, I've understood that if we understand basic grammar, then it is easy, even, in one sentence also, it is easy to understand what is what.
Correct.
Like,
correct.
And if we understand that, it is, it is like dissection of the sentence and just going step by step.
हम लोग वो स्टोरी और वो कहानी में कहीं खो नहीं जाएंगे. Therefore, if you read the piece of this particular book, you get the whole proper idea about what it is actually. Yes.
I was about to ask you that. Please talk about P formula and W formula. It's just phenomenal.
Because what came into my mind is many of them started asking question, writing down the question. लेकिन जब उनको पूछा गया कि वो ये क्वेश्चन क्यों पूछा, मुझे लगा इसके लिए पूछा. So now that has got no answer. मुझे लगने वाला मैं कौन होता हूँ? And if that is the thing, unprejudiced कहाँ आया? So unprejudiced itself means that there has to be a clear intent and a purpose for every question that is asked. और जब शुरुआत में आप questioning करते हो with a proper purpose, आपको धीरे से एक possibility मिलता है. probabilities मिलने को लगते हैं. So what is the idea behind that? The whole idea is कि आपने एक प्रश्न पूछा, उसमें से आपके पास 3-4 कारण है जिसकी वजह से आप आए हो मेरे को क्लिनिक में. सर दर्द है, पेट दर्द है, सांस तकलीफ दे रही है, बच्चे नहीं सुनते, 4 इशू है. Then you are going to ask, these are the possibilities of likely being the cause of a problem. अब then we ask, what bothers you the most? उससे क्या करते हैं? We come to the idea of coming to the probabilities. Probably ये हो सकता है या ये हो सकता है, एक या दो ही में हम फिल्टर करते हैं उसको. When you further probe into it, तब वो व्यक्ति एक ही रास्ता चुनता है. डॉक्टर साहब, मेरा सांस है ना, यही मेरे लिए बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है. अब बाकी के 3 निकल गए. This becomes a prospect. One single road of the idea of something that is deepest botheration to that person.
Okay.
अब उसमें से then you go with the W's. Where, when, why, how come, since how long. ये सभी चीजें का जब आप छान करते हो, you are now going and exploring the whole issue of that particular person's main problem. So we get the idea उसमें से कि इसका विषय क्या है, the subject. The subject is mother-in-law, for example. अब वो mother-in-law में से then you ask about since when, what was the problem, where do you think is the problem, why do you think is the problem, who is the problem for you. So all these W's when it comes, आप छानने लगते हो उसको कि precisely कहाँ है, the window from where the issue will be exactly located. And then you start going into the deeper aspects, because by that time the person's body language, the person's talk का speed, the person's पूरा एक gesture जो है वो बदली हो जाता है. That is the time when you also have to change the pace. So the pace that comes into picture, because तब तक patient has gone into delusional level और उसके आगे, क्योंकि उसकी सोच कुछ और थी. So that is the time when the patient's pace, rhythm, volume, pitch ये सब बदली होने लगता है. Facial expressions, body gesture सब कुछ बदलाव आने लगती है. तो आपको भी वो बदलाव लाना है to be in sync with that.
Yes.
And then वो जर्नी उस व्यक्ति के लिए पहले बार है, इसके पहले कभी गया ही नहीं था वहां पर. तब आपका पी क्या रहेगा? persistent. थोड़ा इसको बताओ. You are doing very well. Little bit more about this. Yeah, just go one step ahead. So then you're making way for that person to go deeper, and that deeper is a nonsensical language and a combination of all the words that you're going to start listening. And that is going to be abstract. तब तक क्या होता है? तब तक he, she, it सब निकल जाता है. जेंडर निकल जाता है, क्योंकि सोल को कोई जेंडर नहीं. इसके लिए हम कहते हैं जब प्राण चले जाता है तो नर और मादी नहीं रह जाता. शरीर बॉडी को कब ले जाने वाले? So purely becomes body. A second before that, till the person had life, how is he? How is she? Doctor said it is critical. लेकिन in the moment the soul leaves the body, it leaves the gender away. And therefore the work का जो words आएंगे work का, it is always given as it is pulling, it is drawing, it is stretching, because it has got no gender. And that it ko we have to only fill in the blank with the remedy. Remedy is pulling, remedy is black, remedy is blind, remedy is blurry. So what is this? All these qualities, ये कौन सा remedy है? ये it क्या है निसर्ग से? That is what we have to fill in the blank. So this piece become a very important, just to give you a GPS कि हम कहाँ जा रहे हैं. Because people would be lost randomly. अरे क्या पूछो, अब क्या पूछो? ये क्वेश्चन क्यों आता है? क्योंकि आपको ही मालूम नहीं कि आप कहाँ जा रहे हो. So that
also, sir, then there are so many symptoms, or generally there is always a story, and we generally get lost in the story. And I have seen that if we watch a same patient, or we take the same person's case, different people will arrive at different things, because they will give importance to something which they know, or
correct.
they would perceive,
According
and not
to their own sensitivity,
Yeah.
according to their own vital force का radar है. Because each one of us have a radar of aura of a vital force. That's why you will see some people are good in cancer cases, some people are good in acute cases. क्योंकि मेरा aura के लिए जो fit होता है उसके हिसाब से मैं कब उसमें निकल जाता हूँ पता भी नहीं. I become good in that particular field.
Yes, very true.
So that's there. Yeah.
So
So with this piece, क्या होगा कि we have a perfect road map to it कि कैसे जाना है, क्या करना है, and therefore after every chapter I have left a page things to ponder upon कि आपको क्या लगा पेंसिल से आप लिख दो उसके अंदर ताकि आपको ही मन पड़ेगा and then we can get the feedbacks to improvise on that.
yes, that's lovely. So with this particular steps, we can understand that at what level we have reached in the
Correct.
case taking. This is
Correct.
a kind of, at the same time we can also improve that. Okay,
True.
this is the level, and this type of question we should ask.
Correct. Correct.
This is love. Sir, also I want to ask you that because you wrote that it is connection, communication, and conversation. So generally, I believe that most of us who know you and who are your students, they always feel. I always feel that patients speak everything in front of you. They would tell you all the truths and the deeper things and sensation and source language, but it doesn't happen with us. So what are your suggestions, or what are the things which we should like focus upon in the book or in generally also for the beginners, which will help us to get the truth?
See, the most important idea is हम लोग जब ये क्लिनिक के मैदान में उतरते हैं हम लोग वो हथियार लेके चलते हैं कि मेरे को ये रेमेडी देगा ही देगा या मेरे को उसके लिए रेमेडी निकालना ही है. बट इफ यू जस्ट चेंज दैट फोकस कि भाई आज मैं कुछ समझने वाला नहीं हूं, व्हेन यू डू नॉट हैव एनी एक्सपेक्टेशन एंड यू सिट डाउन विद द कूल हेड, आई फ्रैंकली टेल एवरी डे आई कम विद दिस आइडिया कि मैं कहीं पहुंचूंगा नहीं आज. सो व्हेन you are coming with this idea empty headed, empty minded, then you are open to curiously find out each and everything, and therefore the idea is do not expect that you will definitely come to a remedy. और आजकल क्या हो गया क्रेज, I'll tell you, नाइट्रम दिया सर, पल्सिटिला दिया, अरे वो रेमेडी नहीं है. Now, do you expect a worm or a butterfly or something like this case every day? So that is again a passion हो गया है कि लैंथनाइट दिया क्या सर, जरा केस बताओ ना क्या हुआ. वही अगर आप बोलो नाइट्रम दिया, पूछेंगे भी नहीं केस कैसा था. So we are filled with so much of expectations and things which are so big that painting of our mind filled knowledge itself is a hindrance. So many of the seminar I also tell people how many of them are here who are keeping the alarm to get up in the morning. 99% raise their hand. और फिर मैं पूछता हूँ कितने जन अलार्म बंद करके फिर 5-10 मिनट सोते हैं.
Everybody.
Of them will keep. So who tells us to close the alarm and sleep for 5-10 minutes? It is our mind. मेरा खुद का माइंड ही मेरा दुश्मन है कि मैंने जो प्लान किया है 6 बजे उठने का कल से, वो पहला हमारा माइंड ही बोलता है रहने देना 10 मिनट और सो जा. So mind is the biggest enemy, and therefore more we think, the more the problem. So my first.
Sir, also I want to add. Yes, please.
The first thing that I wanted to give is see that you do not go with any big expectation. Then only your idea about observation and listening becomes perfectly clear.
Yes, it's a great advice. But initially it becomes very difficult, to distract. But once we understand this thing that, we should not always look for the remedy and some sort of healing or, just accepting and understanding a patient, this becomes a great journey and great thing to do every day. So, sir, I also want to ask you that there is a lot of times, especially beginners and people like us also, we are hesitant of asking sometimes personal information or some sensitive questions. So how to ask the sensitive information? A lot of times people are hesitant कि ये कैसे पूछूं या ये personal है बहुत.
Correct. So for the beginners, I would tell the first way of putting it up. That is called the way of putting. किस तरह से मैं उसको पेश करूं. तो भाभी जी, माँ जी, मैडम जो भी रहेंगे, I really wanted to ask one question for the sake of my understanding of the case. I hope you wouldn't mind, because it's a part and parcel of the need in this particular case. So I would first take them into confidence, wait for that nod to come, and then I would ask the question. But after some years of practice, the idea is आज के तारीख में जो भी आते हैं केसेस यहाँ पर, उन्होंने पहले जिन्होंने उनको भेजा है उनके पास तो सुनकर ही आए हैं. देखा वो कहीं पर भी कुछ भी पूछेगा, कुछ भी बात करेगा, किधर भी बैठेगा, नीचे जमीन पे भी बैठेगा. So sometimes I sit on the floor and ask the questions, because it's exhausting. See, every day you are taking the cases, not a single day when there is a break. So you tend to cut loose then. चलो थोड़ा सा easy होके पूछते हैं, घूमता हूँ इधर उधर and ask question. So this is what the patients know, because those who have referred them here, they have already told about them. Because why I know this? Because then at the end of the case, I ask them, सर आपको बुरा नहीं ना, हमको बताया था, उन्होंने जो उन्होंने भेजा ना, हमको बोला था आप कुछ भी करोगे, आप उनके ऊपर ध्यान नहीं, सब बोल देना, because he has got better, so he will not mind.
Yes.
So for a beginner, it is better to confront first. Tell them, I want to ask this sensitive question. I hope you wouldn't mind, because it's a part and parcel of the remedy that I'm looking for, or the line of treatment that I'm looking for. So to find out whether that also clarifies this, so I'm asking, so don't be offended. It's for your good. They will definitely will not say no.
Yes, yes. And I guess we have to, in the beginning also, we have to start building such rapport so that we don't have
Correct.
a problem
Very
later.
true. One has to. Initial 5 साल तो लगता ही है, क्योंकि जब तक वो आपका वो फेज में आप लोगों में जाने नहीं जाओगे, तब तक तो उतना लगेगा ही. Once you are known, then people come through you by mouth spread. And that mouth spread also gives you the idea कि case taking कैसा रहेगा, ये भी उनको बताया जाता है.
Yes, yes. And that helps actually. Most of the time it helps.
That
Because
really
they come with a mindset and
Correct.
yes. Sir, one very interesting thing I read in the content index of your book is the right question is the answer. And I I feel it should be the title of the book. The right question is the answer.
Mikhail Yakin today commented about it on the Instagram.
Okay.
That is the key. Because the idea is, if our question is pertaining to the person's interest, it will always open up. Usually हम लोग कभी भी question को पहले लिखते नहीं पूछने से. I always tell them, write your question first. Starting में आपको 2-3 बार उसको cancel करना पड़ेगा, ये सही नहीं लगता question जो patient बोल रहा है. Once you start developing that skill, the right question simply cracks to that solution. Because what you are trying to do is, the question itself is going to open up the cover of that person's in a deeper level of whatever problems they have. तो आपका जो तीर लगना चाहिए निशाने पे, वो तीर आपका प्रश्न है. और प्रश्न पूछने से पहले 10 बार लिख कर देखो वो सही है कि नहीं प्रश्न. At the beginners, it is very, very important, because when we ask a certain question, that person is nowhere connected to that question. मुझे कैसा पता था, मैं कैसे बता सकता हूँ उसके बारे में, मुझे क्या मालूम आगे का क्या होगा. Why? Because there is no connection between your question and the person's answer. That is the place when you are losing the track. You are already divert हो गए.
Yes.
So it's very, very important.
Yes. So in last few months, I would say this is the best and biggest takeaway from your teaching. What I understood is, first of all, writing the questions and then improving them,
Yes.
and also what to expect. Because if we ask right question, if we know that what we are asking and what we will get, then only we are in the right direction.
Correct.
Otherwise, it's like you said, it's very random that ऐसा लगा पूछ लिया, या कभी कभी सिखाया भी है ना, we have like this organon का ये पूछना है, ये नहीं पूछना है, and we have a form which we need to fill. So we just ask questions to fill up the form or just have some kind of data, and there is no connection or no expectation related to the question. We just randomly ask it.
And
This is
nowadays people give you this short version of it. Smart question. So you know
smart question.
तुमने बरोबर पूछा है वो. So this is the
Uh-huh.
feedback without even asking. This is the feedback that you are getting from the people,
Yes.
that your question is perfectly on target. That's
Yes.
wise one. That's a smart question. Wow, I never thought about it. These are the ways how people will tell you.
Yes. Yes.
So all the assistants now note that thing, and I tell them note these things. These are the first hand information that your question is dot on target, and the patient
Yes.
is realizing. उसका आत्मा पहचानता है कि सही क्वेश्चन था वो.
और उसका डीपर कुछ तो अंदर मतलब वो हुआ है that
Yeah,
this
it has
information
entered into it.
it
Yes,
has entered.
it has
Yes.
entered deep into it, and that's the
Yes.
beauty of the thing, because then they are interested in telling you their inner side of the story.
Yes. Yes. That is true.
This
Yes.
is very advantageous when we are doing this guided case taking. When both are physicians, so now when you are becoming a patient, you are also now knowing कि सामने वाला बंदा ये क्वेश्चन पूछने की कोई जरूरत नहीं तो भी वो पूछ रहा है. That is my learning as a patient when I'm acting as a patient and giving a case.
Wow.
And then we ask
Yes.
them also, what were you going through? And they tell clearly, I was going through this, that ये जरूरत नहीं था तो भी ये इसमें जा रहा है पूछने के लिए. Can you see? You can understand, patient can also understand कि ये जो डॉक्टर पूछ रहा है प्रश्न ये मेरे लिए सही नहीं है ये प्रश्न.
True.
And
Very
that is the way how they will answer. डॉक्टर साहब और कितना टाइम लगेगा?
हाँ.
डॉक्टर साहब I have to go and pick up my child. It's clear indication that we are nowhere on track. Neither he or she nor you are enjoying that journey of conversation.
Yes. Very true.
वो धीरे धीरे कंटाल गया है.
हाँ.
That कंटाल गया क्योंकि उसका इंटरेस्ट का नहीं है.
Right. और सर कभी कभी तो if it is of their interest or if we are on the right track, वो बच्चे को लेने भी जाना है तो वो बैठ के proper they will tell you that okay चलेगा थोड़ा लेट हो.
Because they are now willing to be there and tell you everything. They have already made adjustment and come. किसी को बोला रहेगा, लेकिन ऐसा friction जब हो रहा है that is not going anywhere, then they will bring that as an excuse. And this is purely human. Even बच्चे को देखो आप मैथ्स करने बोलो, मम्मा भूख लगा है. These are all the excuse to divert away from that, not wanting to do what you are not interested.
Yes. Yes. And communication and listening is, I guess, these are the most human needs, like
Correct.
basic needs.
Correct.
So whenever a patient comes, they want you to listen to them, but
Correct.
if it is in the right direction, otherwise they get bored. Okay. Sir, when we take a case generally, we constantly think and analyze also. Sometimes we analyze very fast and sometimes we analyze in the completely wrong direction, sometimes in the right direction. So I want to ask you that how to think while taking the case and what not to think. Like, how to become an unprejudiced one.
The idea is think, I will say. Let the thought process come. But what is very, very, very important, that you have to challenge your own thought process. मुझे ये अगर belladonna लग रहा है, तो your next mind should immediately say क्यों लग रहा है. और अगर ये इस वजह से लग रहा है, तो मैं पेशेंट को पूछ के देखता हूँ क्या ये सही है कि नहीं. वो बोलेगा, वो मेरा एग्जामिनर है मेरा थॉट के लिए. So when you are prepared to challenge your thought, what happens is we get the thought and we flow with the thought. उसको analysis नहीं किया है. We flow with the thought. And when we flow with the thought, तो आप आपके thought के रास्ते पे हो, वो patient कुछ और रास्ते पे है. And then that will never come together. But if you every time whatever thought process comes, मुझे लगता है ऐसे कभी भी क्षण भर में लगा, क्यों लगता है? लगने का वजह क्या है? तो मैं पेशेंट को पूछा, जो मेरा लगना है वो सही है क्या, ये पेशेंट को पूछा. अगर नहीं पूछा, क्यों नहीं पूछा. अगर पूछा है तो क्या जवाब दिया पेशेंट ने. तो जो भी मुझे लगा वो नहीं है, हटाओ उसको. So
right?
quickly get away, to quickly rub out that thought. First is let the thought come. Second step is ask why to that thought. Third step is ask the question to the patient. Fourth step, if the patient disagrees, then immediately rub it out.
Mhm.
This will build your confidence. This will definitely build your. इसके लिए बोलते थॉट नहीं लाना, बहुत जन बोलते हैं ना, थॉट को मत आने दो. अरे ऐसा कैसे नहीं आने दो, ऐसा होगा ही नहीं,
आने
आएगी वो,
जाएगा।
आने दो, हाँ, आने दो. लेकिन उसको आप प्रश्न पूछो अपने आप को, क्या सही है? तो कैसे पता करूंगा मैं? पेशेंट को पूछूंगा. पूछ लो. और पेशेंट ने अगर उसका उसके हित में नहीं दिया, तो ये तुम्हारा सोच है गलत.
Right.
That can
Wow. Thank you so
be,
much.
yeah, that is very, very important.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Because it is almost impossible not to think.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally we say that we shouldn't think and we just
नहीं,
receive and we become
नहीं हो-
pressurized. होता नहीं है वो.
नहीं होता है. और आना ही चाहिए. मैं तो बोलूंगा आना ही चाहिए. Because that's how we will learn. And you will reach a state when you are taking the cases without any thoughts. क्योंकि इतने सारे थॉट को आपने पूछा, चैलेंज किया, पूछा, हर टाइम गलत था. तो तुम्हारा उससे हटने का, what is not for you to be done, automatically you get away from it.
Yes. Yes. And this sort of critical thinking is very important to,
Correct.
to get away that thought कि अच्छा ये है. Because we always, कई बार ऐसा होता है, in fact, most of the times ऐसा होता है कि हम एक शुरू में हमको 2-4 सिम्टम मिले एंड वी स्टिक टू अ रेमेडी और हम उसको रिकन्फर्म करते रहते हैं बाद में. हम लोग उससे हटते ही नहीं है क्योंकि हमारे दिमाग में बैलेडोना आ चुकी है.
इनफैक्ट
वही देना है.
इनफैक्ट व्हाट हैपेंस, आई टेल यू, वी फियर टू आस्क. अरे कहीं उसने ना बोल दिया ये प्रश्न को तो मेरा बेलोडोना गया पानी में. बेटर नॉट.
बिल्कुल.
This attitude is going to completely destroy us. So in order to be clear, पूछूं हाँ तो हाँ, नहीं तो हटा दूंगा.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
That is important.
Yes. So, sir, I also want to ask you that, of course, when we read a book or like if we learn from you, we watch your webinar or seminar or something, then generally what happens that doctors will come, they would be very enthusiastic to learn, they would learn and they go, and sometimes when they are trying to replicate the same process or same method of case taking or trying to learn, sometimes no, they just easily get disappointed when they are not able to replicate the same thing. So you also spoke about Riyaz and practice. So I just wanted to ask you about that how important that is, because this disappointment comes very quickly. आज मैंने सीखा, कल मैंने try किया और परसों मेरे को लगा अरे ये काम नहीं करता. This doesn't work. So this, how to get rid of this or how to improve ourselves by Riyaz.
See, the very frank and clear thing is, हर आर्ट में गिरना उचित है. नहीं गिरो तो आप सीख नहीं पाओगे. लेकिन गिरते गिरते ये भी समझ लेना कि जितने बार आप गिरोगे उतने बार आप सीखोगे. Because a true music teacher will not at all appreciate, adore for a good note that you played. लेकिन एक भी नोट रॉन्ग किए वापिस वो धुन बजाओ. So that's a good master. So therefore, every art that you're learning, and case taking also an art. So every art you're taking, learning, remember that you have to fall. It is not possible that you cannot fall. And that fall is a first indication to ask your own self, where did I fall? What was the point that I fell? What went wrong over there? So इंट्रोस्पेक्शन जो होता है उसके बाद ये आपको निसर्ग और वो समय सिखाती है कि बाबा अपने आप को देखो, आपने क्या गलती किया, क्या प्रश्न पूछने में गलती किया, क्या आपने उसको जवाब देने के लिए समय दिया, या आपने धड़ाधड़ दूसरा क्वेश्चन पूछा. ऑल दीज, एंड देयरफॉर आई विल ऑलवेज एडवाइस फॉर अ न्यू कमर. आजकल मोबाइल में वॉइस रिकॉर्डिंग का फैसिलिटी मिलता है, रिकॉर्ड करो, हो जाने के बाद वापस सुन लो. क्योंकि एज अ बिगिनर यू आर नॉट सो बिजी प्रैक्टिशनर. हफ्ते में 10 दिन में एक केस लोगे तो यू हैव गॉट 8 to 10 days to understand what you are doing wrong, where you are going, and that polishing will make you a true craftsmanship in the future.
Yes. So we have to practice every day
True.
and shouldn't get disappointed very
That
quickly.
has
This is the message, guys.
that has to be there. Failure, falling has to.
Yes.
आप स्विमिंग सीखने जाओ, थोड़ा पानी गटकना ही पड़ेगा.
Right.
साइकिल सीखने जाओ, एक दो बार गिरना ही पड़ेगा. रोटी बनाने जाओ, इधर तो दो तीन दाग के डब्बे आना ही चाहिए, नहीं तो वो नहीं सीख पाओगे. So
नहीं होगा.
everything has got.
Right. Right. Thank you so much, sir. And if anybody has any question related to case taking or anything, you can just write down in the chat box. So please write down your questions. We will wait for some time. And sir, we are very excited and looking forward to have you in Indore. We are going to have a live
And that too in
seminar
our
of yours.
mother tongue.
Yes.
That too in our national language. और उसकी जो मिठास होती है ना, वो इंग्लिश में नहीं मजा आता. Because the patient language, the way the patient talk, वो ऐटना किस तरह बताता है, वो किस तरह से वो दर्दों को समझाता है, and how do we listen to it, how do we understand it, and the way of questioning, how do we have to put it, is fantastic. I will tell you, in this entire year अगर मैं देख रहा हूँ तो 5 नवंबर.
Oh. I'm also looking forward. मैं हम लोग इतने excited हैं. And you know, whenever we are calling somebody or telling them कि the seminar is happening, सबसे पहले मैं बोलती हूँ आपको पता है हिंदी में होने वाला है, हिंदी में cases होंगे. And they become so happy because most of the times people have this problem. Even when we use repertory, they think that अरे हमारा patient हिंदी में बोलता है, हम कैसे समझेंगे या कैसे convert करेंगे या इसको सेंसेशन है तो इंग्लिश में कैसे समझेंगे. So sir, this is a great initiative which you have taken, and also I am very thankful to Dr. Priyanka also. She suggested पूरा हिंदी में करते हैं. When we had a conversation for the first time, she said full हिंदी में करेंगे. तो मैंने उनको बोला भी कि थोड़ा चलेगा इंग्लिश, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. तो she said नहीं नहीं मजा आएगा, पूरा हिंदी में करेंगे, बहुत अच्छा लगेगा, ज्यादा समझ में आएगा, which was really.
हाँ, ये कोकण में सुनते हैं ना, because we had हिंदी this thing also in कोंकण. तो इतना मस्त लगता है हिंदी में सुनने का, मतलब मजा ही कुछ अलग है. इंग्लिश में सोफिस्टिकेटेड लगता है थोड़ा.
हाँ, बिल्कुल. और सर थोड़ा सा नॉन अचीवेबल भी लगता है, ये भी है. मतलब मोस्ट ऑफ द पार्ट्स एंड ऑब्वियसली जो पेशेंट्स आते हैं वो कोई भी वर्नाक्युलर, पर हिंदी उसमें सबसे ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट बिकॉज मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल नो हिंदी. तो जब वो हिंदी में बोलते हैं और अगर फिजिशियन को अच्छे से समझ में आता है, उसे कन्वर्ट करना आता है, तो वो एक you get that confidence that okay, this is replicable, I can do this. So I'm really looking forward to listen to your Hindi lecture. Great. और सर एक और अनाउंसमेंट मैं ड्यूरिंग लाइव ही करना चाहूंगी. एक्चुअली यस्टरडे कल तक हमारा अर्ली बर्ड ऑफर था फॉर द इंदौर सेमिनार विच गॉट एक्सपायर्ड, बट आई गॉट लॉट ऑफ डीएम्स क्योंकि आज ये लाइव था तो बहुत सारे लोगों का रिक्वेस्ट है दैट हम इसको एक्सटेंड करें. सो गाइज गुड न्यूज, वी आर एक्सटेंडिंग इट फॉर 5 more days. सो यू हैव 5 more days. प्लीज रजिस्टर योरसेल्फ बिकॉज सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज है कि आप आए एंड आप सर को सुने और समझे. और this great book will be available in the seminar, so if you want to grab your copy you just can message me or any of our team members and we will make it available. And this is a great book. I can tell you that this is a must read. और सर मुझे तो ये थोड़ा सा ही पढ़ा मैंने जबकि, बट उसमें में भी मुझे ऐसे लगा कि this should not be a book of only homeopaths. This should be a book of for communication skill improvement for anyone.
Truly, because the last chapter that I put for is also for lay people also how to communicate. Because most of the frictions that happen, even with the closest friends or even with your own spouse, is because that there has been somewhere some connect that has not happened. And then you are in your old world of thoughts and सामने वाला बंदा वो ऐसे सोचा भी नहीं था कि आप ऐसे सोचोगे. That is the friction that caused. So therefore, this is a very good book. Basically, 30 साल का पूरा अनुभव को समेट के मैं 300 पेजेस में डाला हूँ. Yes. Arc.
So this should be a book for whoever wants to improve their communication skill, whoever wants to actually understand.
In fact, you not believe, lay people का book आज के तारीख में 225 बुक गए. Non-homeopathy, yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they wanted to read because they have seen the cases, how it goes. Na? They wanted to really understand this. बोलते हैं हमारा 10 साल का शादी का ये हो गया है, 15 साल का हो गया, मैं अभी तक उनको समझ नहीं पाई। लेकिन आपको मैं जिस तरह से आप पूछते हो, द वे यू गिव दैट स्पेस itself makes the person to cry and tell and talk and bring it out. That is why this book will be very important for you. तो उन लोगों ने पहला धड़ाधड़ कॉपी उन लोगों ने लिखी है।
अरे वाह, दैट्स ग्रेट। सर, 2-3 क्वेश्चन है। सो सबसे
Yes.
पहले क्वेश्चन है, इज द बुक अवेलेबल इन Amazon? आई डोंट थिंक सो।
नहीं, राइट नाउ नो, अभी आया है ये राइट नाउ।
बट यू कैन डेफिनेटली डीएम आस, आप हमें डीएम कर सकते हैं, या स्वारा गुरुकुल वाला जो पेज है उस पे भी। आई विल पुट अ स्टोरी जस्ट आफ्टर दिस लाइव, तो आप उसमें मैं आपको नंबर भी दे दूंगी 1105F, सो यू कैन जस्ट गेट द बुक डायरेक्टली। ओके, यू कैन डायरेक्टली ऑर्डर अगर अमेजोन पे नहीं है तो भी। एंड सेकंड क्वेश्चन इज, Vidya is asking, how will we know whether we are in the right direction or not?
See, that's what exactly, when the person is able to connect to our question and the person is without any friction, that the person is ready to tell you everything, the entire body language, the pitch, the volume, the pace is completely now into a trance, and they're talking something which we are also not at all understanding. Eye to eye contact is lost. They're completely lost with the eye to eye contact. The consciousness is lost, but they are still talking with some gestures, with some this thing. That is an indication that now we are on the right runway and we are heading in for a takeoff now. You have to just fasten your seatbelts and listen to the sound of nature that is going to ring into that person.
Yes, I remember one of your Mola's case where you were even not there and she was just speaking and giving everything about the source language, and it was completely, I mean, it was a magic. Great. Sir, Dr. Vismay just wants to say namaste to you. He's saying
Namaste.
Vismay from Gujarat. Okay. So, sir, no questions. Thank you so much for coming live.
Thanks a million, and I'm looking for the 5th of November ka seminar. All
Yes,
those who
me
are
too.
present over there on the show, let it actually make it a point to come, because this is something which I would be talking about the book only, the art of case taking in Hindi language. किस तरह से उसको समझना है, किस तरह से हम not only case taking, I would always tell, not only case taking, but also in your day-to-day life, the art of how to connect with people and the beauty of how good relationship you build on purely listening, purely connecting to them, and purely being unbiased. This is the key factor. फिर भले ही कोई होम्योपैथी प्रैक्टिस करे या नहीं करे, लेकिन अपने निजी जिंदगी में कितना फर्क होगा ये भी देख लेना।
Yes. Great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Sir, एक last question.
Yes.
In the end, I can see this question, so I don't want to miss this. Dr. Soni is asking that, sir, timid और shy patient के case taking में क्या ध्यान रखना चाहिए? कुछ tips बताइए.
See, in a shy patient, basically you go very slow. The idea is that you are not going to be very pushy about things, because for them the most important thing is the rapport that you have to develop between yourself and that person. So you have to be very clear about it. No problem, अगर आपको नहीं पता है चलेगा, no issues, खाली ये पूछना था इसके लिए मैं ये किया. So there the twist is not to be pushy as against what an extroverted person will be. Extroverted person को आप रुकाओ दबाओ तो भी बोलेगा. तो shy person को तो बहुत ही धीरे से, बहुत ही नरमाई से उसको पेश आना चाहिए. And most important is respect their feelings. That is a very very important thing. And repeatedly you have to tell them, no problem. अगर आपको अगर comfortable नहीं लग रहा बाद में बोल देना, क्योंकि ये पूछना था इसके लिए मैं ये आपको पूछ रहा हूँ. This way, and then they see how they open up, because you have now respected their shyness, you have respected their introvertedness, you have understood their body language, या their wavelength. जब आप उस wavelength को respect करते हो तो वो एक तरह से थोड़ा क्षण में अपने बन जाते हैं कि ये बंदा हमें समझ रहा है, ये बंदा मुझे दीवार के साथ चिपका नहीं रहा है पीछे. That is very important.
Yes. Thank
It's
you.
very, very important. Thank you.
Thank you so much for answering all the questions, sir. And thank you so much. It was such an honor to have you. And I'm really looking forward for 5th of November to have sir and to have all of you. Please come and join the seminar. If you want details, you can just look at our pages, Asha Homeopathic Academy, Homeopathy Junction, and we'll put all the details. And you have 5 more days to, register yourself in the discounted price. So that is, it's a great opportunity. आप सभी आमंत्रित हैं. हिंदी में केस तो मैं भी हिंदी में बोलूंगी अभी. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
बहुत
you.
बहुत
Thanks,
धन्यवाद.
Kapil.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Kapil.
And have a great time ahead.
Bye
Thank you,
bye.
sir. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. And I hope that you enjoyed this talk. This is a great, really a great book, amazing book. I have just read few pages and I have already fallen in love with, whatever sir has written about connection, communication, and conversation. Please book your copies if you're coming to Indore seminar. There will be, the book will be available. If you are anywhere in the world, if you want to have the book, you can connect with us, or you can connect directly to SWARA Clinic, SWARA HOMEO GURUKUL, or Sir's page, and they will ship the book to you. And I, cordially invite everybody who is present here and who would be watching this video later to the Indore seminar, which is happening on 5th of November, Sunday, at Santosh Auditorium, Rani Sapir. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed. Please send your feedback and whatever you felt after watching this interview. Thank you so much. Have a great time. Okay, the book name, somebody is asking. So book name is Case Taking, The Art of Connection, Communication, and Conversation.